Hi everyone, welcome to today's lesson. And in this lesson in mathematics, we'll be looking at ordering of numbers. Ordering of numbers. What does that mean? When you order numbers, it means you are arranging them in a certain order, in a certain way, whether it's in a decreasing order or in an increasing order, whether you are increasing from the smallest to the greatest or arranging them in the order of the greatest to the smallest number. So when you are arranging numbers from maybe the smallest number to the largest number, or from the largest number to the smallest number, you are ordering those numbers. Now, for you to be able to order numbers correctly or accurately, you have to be able to compare them correctly. You have to be able to do comparing in order to be able to order numbers correctly as well. So comparison of numbers is very essential, very important if you must order numbers correctly. Before we move on, I'd quickly like to introduce to us here the symbols that are used when we are comparing numbers. Okay, remember, comparing numbers and ordering numbers, they work together, they work hand in hand. You can't order without comparing. So I'll just quickly show us the symbols that we use when we're comparing a number. So the first one here is greater than sign. When it's inverted, it's the less than sign. And the last one here, with two dash, is the equal to sign. Now, in teaching the less than and greater than signs, we always liken that sign to the mouth of a crocodile. Like a crocodile opens its mouth. And to help in recalling which one is facing this way or what each of them means, we explain and tell you that the crocodile always eats the larger number. The greedy crocodile eats the larger number. So you always find the mouth of the crocodile open to the number that is bigger and is closed to the number that is smaller. Okay, that's just the only way you can, at least something that will help you to easily know which side this sign will be facing, because it's actually the same sign but just facing two different ways. Okay, so just remember, the greedy crocodile opens his mouth, or rather eats the larger number or goes for the larger number. So just look at this sign like the mouth of the crocodile that is opened, and then the part that is closed is towards the smaller number. Okay, now remember, this sign is it just inverted, it is the same thing. So in a case where this sign is facing the left, okay, there are no permanent positions actually, just depends on how you use them. Okay, but the important thing is whether you're facing it to the right or facing it like this to the left, what matters is that the opened end is facing the larger number and the closed end is facing the smaller number. Okay, and then these two strokes here, which is the sign of equal to, is used when the two numbers, this one here, is used when the two numbers have the same value, when no one is bigger than the other, the two are the same. Okay, so we use this this sign here is equal to sign. It shows that the two numbers are equal. So we're going to take a look at the way we compare numbers in order to be able to order them. And I would like to quickly say this, that for you to be able to compare numbers correctly, to determine which is smaller and which is bigger, you must have a knowledge of place value. And that's why we had to look at place value before coming to this aspect. Okay, so you need the knowledge of place value before you'll be able to correctly handle this concept. So let's quickly take a look at this example. Compare 24316 and 24418. I don't like to name this number. Try and see if you can name this number and that number based on the lessons we've done in the past. Okay, I'm giving you time to try and name these two numbers. Okay. So this first number here is 24,316. If you look at this here, the 6 here is in under unit, the 1 is under tens, and the 3 is under hundred. So if you are taking this first three, or this last 3 digits, this is 316. 300, 110, and 6, 316. And then if you look at the other 2 digits, 4 is under 1,000 and 2 is under tens of thousand. So this 2 under tens of thousand is 20,000, and this 4 under 1,000 is just 4,000. So you have 24,000. 24,000. And if you don't want to go that way, just look at any digit or all the digits that are under 1,000, for instance. If you look at 4 is in 1,000, 2 also is in 1,000, even though it's tens of thousands, at least there is 1,000 there. So you combine those two numbers. So in combining them, you just name it as it is, which is 24, and then you call the family name, which is 1,000, because 1,000 is common to the two of them. So this is 24,316. Always remember to use your comma after 3 digits, counting from your right towards your left. When you are counting from your right towards your left, after every 3 digits, you put a comma. Okay, then let's come to the second number. So here we find, sorry, let me write that properly if I want it. Okay, so here the digits under unit is 8, under 1, under tens is 1, under hundreds is 4, under 1,000 is 4, and under tens of thousand is 2. So again, I'm sure you tried to name this as well. So this is 2, if you look at the digits under the thousands, is 24. This is 24 if you combine the two together, and then call their family name, because what is common to both of them is 1,000. So this is 24,418. Now let's come back to what we're actually trying to do here. We're trying to see which of these two numbers is bigger or which one is smaller. That's comparing. We're comparing these two numbers. Remember, I mentioned that for you to be able to order number correctly or numbers correctly, for you to be able to arrange numbers in the order of smallest to biggest or biggest to smallest, you must be able to compare the numbers before you can do that. That's why we are going through these routes. So here you have 24,418, here is 24,316. Now what do you look at for when you're comparing numbers? Their place values. The place values of the digits in those numbers, they play a very crucial part, a very important role in you deciding which is larger and which is smaller. You look at their place values, the place values of the digits in the numbers. So let's look at this. And okay, let me quickly mention this. Whenever you are comparing numbers, you always start from your left. Remember, the left side holds the largest units, or the largest columns, or the largest values. The left side of this, your number, when you place them in their place values, the one from the left end, the extreme left end, has the highest value. The one from the extreme right has the least or the lowest value. That's why unit from the right end, it has the lowest value. And in this case, tens of thousand, which is at the extreme left, has the biggest value. So whenever you want to compare two numbers, start from the extreme left. Start checking from the largest unit end or the largest value end. Okay, so in this case, we have the tens of thousands for the both, for the two numbers. So in the position of tens of thousand, we have 2 in the first number, and we have 2 in the second number. So you can't tell which is bigger. They have the same digit, the same value. This is 20,000. This is 20,000. So let's move to the next one. When you find out that they are the same in the first position you are checking, move to the next number and check. So the next position is 1,000. Here, 4 is the digit under 1,000. And again, 4 is the digit under 24,000. You can't say which is bigger. Move on to the next digit. That's how you keep moving until you're able to spot a difference, until you're able to get a digit, a situation where one of the digits is larger or smaller than the other. Then you can take your decision. So here in the hundredth position, you have 3 for the first number, and for the second number, in the hundredth position, you have 4. Now we know that 4 is bigger than 3. 4 is bigger than 3. So you're going to stop there. You don't need to continue with the tens and the units. They are irrelevant. They are not important because 100 holds a higher value than tens and units. So since you have gotten the difference in the 100th position, that means the number that has the larger unit in that 100th position is bigger than the other number. Since this number has a larger digit in the 100th position than this first number, that means this second number is bigger than the first number. Now, in using our symbol, since this second number is larger, definitely the crocodile, the greedy crocodile, will want to go for it. So when you compare numbers, you find the one that is bigger and the one that is smaller, you use the appropriate symbol, or you turn the symbol in the correct direction. So in this case, since the larger number is to the right, that means the open end of the symbol must face that number or should face that number, while the closed end faces the smaller number. Okay? Now, it's very important, just take note, assuming this number was written first, like you have 24,418, and then you have on the other side 24,316. Assuming this is the way the numbers are written, what you do is you won't use this particular symbol. In that case, the symbol you use is the one facing the opposite way or direction. Why? Because what matters is that the open end of the symbol faces the larger number, while the closed end of the symbol faces the smaller number. So this is how we order. Now let's quickly take a second example. Let's compare sorry, let me move this up, we need some space here. I can just write 24,418 is larger than 24,316. Okay, so that's for that. Now we're taking a second example. Compare. What numbers do we compare now? Good. So compare 178,002 and 64,981. Okay, let's look at these numbers. Now, if you look at these two numbers, you find out that one of them has 6 digits. It has 6 digits, while the other one has 5 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 digits. Now, when you are ordering numbers and you find out that one has a larger number of digits than the other, or has more digits than the other, you don't need to bother yourself or stress yourself with anything. Just know that the number that has more digits in it is larger than the one that has fewer digits. When you're comparing numbers and you find out that one number has more digits than the other, just know that the one with more digits is bigger than the other number. Why? Because if you spread them out, remember our unit, tens, hundred, remember 1,000, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and even million. Okay, we could go on and on. It goes on. Yeah, so now let's try and spread these numbers under these place value positions. This place value 8, 7, 1. And let's bring the other one as well. You have 1, 8, 9, then you have 4, sorry. You have 1 and you have 6. Now let's look at this. The first number, you see that it has a digit in the 100,000 position. It has a digit in the 100,000 position, while the second number has no digit there. It is 0 we have here. Remember, if the number is not written, if nothing is written there in maths or in the works of numbers, just know there's a 0 at the back of every number. So here you have a 0. Okay, here you have 1. And we know that 1 is larger than 0. Or if you're not considering the 0, this first number has a digit in the hundreds of thousands position, which means this number is 178,000 already before you start talking about the rest. But if you come to this second number, it does not have a digit in the hundreds position. The last digit it has is under tens of thousands. So this number, if you join these two in the family of thousand, is just 64,000, because 6 and 4 is 64. So why this is 64,981? This first one is 178,178,002. And we know that 178,000 is bigger than 64,000. So with this, you just know that the 178, sorry, let me take it down a bit. 178,002 is larger than 64,981. Okay, so that's just one other way. Now the first one I'm showing you is maybe you have equal number of digits in the two numbers. You have the same number of digits. This is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is also 5. And you are like, you really need to find out. But the important thing I want you to know is you use this, you can use this, or yes, you use this to be safe, you know, except you have become an expert, which can, with a glance, just tell which is bigger, which is smaller. But you always use these units, okay, that show place values. You know, arrange your digits under them and see which is bigger. And another thing that is very important for you to take note of is you must start comparing from the left end, because this left side has the highest value, and you move towards the right. And once you have reached a position where you spot the difference, as in where you see a number, a digit bigger than the other corresponding digits in the other number, you just stop there. You don't need to continue, because the remaining side, they don't matter, they have lower values. So you will start from the large. If you find the difference at the beginning, that's the end. If in the position of tens of thousands, for instance, maybe this one is 2 and this one is 3, you don't bother continuing. 3 is bigger than 2, so you know that's the bigger number. Or here you have 5, here you have 3. You know 5 is bigger, so you know this number is bigger. So you always start from the left end and keep checking the numbers. And when you arrange them, it helps you. Or if you don't want to arrange, you can simply count the digits. Any of the numbers that has the larger number of digits is definitely bigger in value than the other number that has less digits in it. I hope we are getting this. Okay, let's quickly take a look at this example. We're going to consider order the following numbers from the greatest to the least. This is a set of numbers, and we're asked to order them, arrange them, starting from the largest number to the smallest number. Now, in some cases, it will read, order the following numbers arrange the following numbers in descending order. Like what we're doing now is descending order, because we're starting from the largest to the smallest. But when you're starting from the smallest to the largest, it will read, arrange the following numbers in ascending order. Ascend means to go up. Descend means to come down. So we are doing this one and we are descending, we are arranging in a descending order. Okay, so since we are starting from the largest, let's look at the numbers and see which we can pick out as the largest number. Now let's look at the first number. It has 4 digits. The second has 3 digits. The third has 4 digits. The next 3 and the last 3. Now from what I have showed us, there is a quick way to spot the largest number, or if not, you can just do elimination method at this first stage. Now knowing that this one has 4 digits, this has 4 digits, and the rest have 3 digits, you know you focus on these two that have 4 digits to get the largest one. Okay, your focus now, first of all, should be on these 2 digits that have, these 2 numbers that have 4 digits. Okay, so in looking at these 2 numbers that have 4 digits, let's underline them. I'm just showing you a quick way to do this. Maybe you're in exam condition and you don't have all the time, have to have a fast way of settling this. So you look at them. If you look at the 2 numbers, they both have an equal number of digits. Now, if you spread them out under the position of 1,000, in one of the numbers, 6 is in the position of 1,000, while 3 is in the position of 1,000 in the other. So what does that tell us? We know that not ordinarily 6 is larger than 3. 6 is bigger than 3. So since this one has a larger digit in the same position as another one, they are in the same position of 1,000, but this one has a larger digit in the position of 1,000 than this first number. That means this number with the 6 is larger than the second number. Now, we already know that because this number has 4 digits, it is larger than the remaining 3 that have just 3 digits. Okay? So, after this 6, it is followed by 3,021. So, those 2 are out of the way. Okay? Now, we are left, we can just circle them to help us take our eyes off them so we don't get distracted. Those are out of the way. Now the next numbers we're looking at, we have 439, 168, 268. So the 3 of them have 3 digits. The 3 of them have 3 digits. So what do we do? What do we do to find out which comes next after the second number? Again, use their units, their place values. So here you have units, tens, hundreds. Same goes for this and for the last number. Unit, tens, and hundred. Alright, so now we have their place values shown. What do? Start from your left again and check the numbers or the digits under that highest position. The highest position here is 100. And the highest position here is 100 and it's 100. So let's look at the digits in that position. For the first number, the digit there is 4. For the second number, the digit there is 1. And for the third number, the digit under 100 is 2. So we find out that this number that has 4 under 100 has the higher value because 4 is bigger than 1 and is bigger than 2. So the next number that comes up here is 439. We circle that so that we don't get distracted. Now our focus is on just these 2 numbers left. So remember the positions, the highest position for the 2 numbers is 100. So just check the digits in the 100 position for the 2 of them. If you check, the first one has 1 in the 100 position, the second one has 2 in the 100 position. And we know the 2 is bigger than 1. So the number with the 2 is bigger, so it comes next, 268. Sorry, I'm using comma. I'm going to show something about that. And the last number is 168. So this number we have ordered from the greatest to the least. Now see, I use this greater than sign. Okay, it is in order. If you are doing descending order and it has to come from the smallest to the largest, you simply reverse them. That means your 168 comes first because you're going from the smallest to the largest, and then the symbol becomes this 268, 439, 3,021 and then 6,342. Okay, so this is if you are starting from the least to the greatest, but the one we did actually is from this greatest, the largest, to the smallest number. And see the way I arrange the numbers. I use this sign, okay, to show that this is larger than this is larger than this is larger than this is larger. There's another way you represent this, and you don't have to use this. That way, that other way of representing it, you just write 6. You use comma, okay? Instead of the greater than sign, you can use comma. You write the next number, use comma, the next number, use your comma, the next number, use your comma, and the last number. Okay? Please don't let this confuse you. I left it here for a reason. Okay, so I hope you understand how we did this. Let me go over it again, okay? Let me go over it. Remember I mentioned that when you're comparing two numbers and you notice that one has more digits than the other, just know that the number that has more digits is bigger. And I explained why. Okay? Because that means the first digit in that number that is bigger occupies a higher position than the first digit of the other number. Okay? So if you follow that rule, you find out that in these numbers listed out, 2 of them have 4 digits, while the remaining 3 have 3 digits. So we said the first 2 that have 4 digits are to be considered for the largest number. You consider those 2 to get the largest number. Now we spotted them out, or we highlighted them. And then you now go to the position of the highest value. Okay, that's where you do the separation now. If, for instance, the position of the highest value, they have the same digit, you move to the next one until you spot a difference. So, but here, in the position of the highest value, there's a difference already. One number has 6 in that position, while the other has 3. And we know that 6 is bigger than 3. So that means 6,342 is bigger than 3,021. So that's why we wrote 6,342 first, followed by this number. Followed by this number because we don't even need to check. We already know this has 4 digits, the rest have 3 digits. So this is the number 2 position, right? Now, how do we figure out the others? Now, check the other numbers. They all have 3 digits. Now, again, you come back to their place value. The position of the highest value, go and check the digits that occupy that position. So for this first number, you have 4. For the next number, you have 1. The third one, you have 2. And we know that 4 is bigger than 1 and 2. So we took the next number as 439, which is there. Then it comes down to 2 and 1. You have 1 in this number, you have 2 in this number. 2 is bigger than 1, so we pick this number, and the last one is 168. So we use this sign to show this number is greater than this number, this is greater than this number, this is greater than this number, just like that. And I'm also saying that you can show your work this way. It's acceptable. Instead of using the greater than symbol or sign, you can use comma to separate the numbers and show the order in which they progress, either increasing or whether they're increasing or decreasing. I hope it is clear. Now, what I wrote here is when you are told to arrange. Let me just write it up here because we may not need to repeat this. Okay, let's see. Is this clear enough? I'm sure about that. Arrange in ascending order. No, let me not use ascending. Arrange from least to greatest. Since we used greatest to least here, arrange the numbers from the least to the greatest to the greatest. Oh no, I hope that's clear enough. Okay, so I don't want to erase this again. We've seen how we build. Now, if the question says you arrange the set of numbers from the smallest to the biggest, it follows the same principle, it follows the same rule. If you want to do it the way of, okay, let's see from greatest to the least, you just do it the way we did it. After you've arranged that, you just flip it. You have from the smallest to the largest. Okay, or if you want to do from the smallest, you also follow the rules that we followed here. Check the numbers that have the lower or least digits in them. These are the numbers, this, and this. They have just 3 digits, while the remaining ones have 4 digits. So start considering this. If you look at this is 4 in 100 place, this is 1 in 100, this is 2. 4 is bigger than 2 and 2 is bigger than 1. That means 1 is the smallest. You write that first, 168. Now you move to the remaining 2. You mark it off so that you don't get distracted. Now you are left with 439 and 268. Which is bigger? 2 is in the hundreds here, 4 is in the hundreds. 2 is smaller than 4. So the next is 268. After which your 439 comes. Now you are left with the 2 digits that have the 2 numbers that have 4 digits. Okay? These are the 2 remaining numbers, and each of them has 4 digits. So how do you know which is bigger and which is smaller? What you do, just check the numbers in the highest positions. And here we have 6, in the other number we have 3. And we know that 6 is bigger than 3. 3 is smaller than 6, so 3 should come first. And lastly, you have the biggest one, which is 6. So in this case, the number, the set of numbers has been arranged from the least to the greatest, or it has been arranged in, let me just write this here, ascending order. Remember, I said ascending means you are going up, okay? So ascending order means you're starting from the smallest and you are going up, while, let me write this in capital letter, while descending means you're coming down. Like the first example we did up here, this is descending order, and this is the spelling of descending. Descending order, okay? So when you are doing ascending order, you are moving from the smallest to the largest. And when you are doing descending order, you are moving from the biggest to the lowest. You are coming down. Okay, so this is basically how you order your numbers. This is how you order your numbers. Okay, let's consider this last example. Arrange these numbers in ascending and descending orders. Now I'm deliberately using ascending and descending so that you get used to it and understand that you could come across from greatest to the least or from least to the greatest. Now when you can also come across the ascending and descending. I don't want you to get confused. Maybe you're just used to greatest to the least or least to the greatest, and then when you see ascending or descending orders in your exam, you get confused. So ascending, like I mentioned earlier, means you're going up from smallest to biggest. Descending means you're coming down from the largest number, you're going down to the smallest number. Okay, so let's do the first one, ascending. Going up from the smallest to the largest. So let's look at the numbers. Here we have 5 digits. Here we also have 5 digits. And then these other 2, we have 4 digits. So that limits our search. So for this first one, we just look at the ones with the larger, yeah, we can do it either way. Okay, since we are doing from smallest, let's take a focus of this one. Now let's look at for the smallest number. Now these 2 have 5 digits, while these other 2 have 4 digits. So we know that since they have fewer digits, they are less in value than the other 2 that have 5 digits. So let's look at these 2 to get the smallest one, the one that has the least value. So if you look at it, this is unit, tens, 100,000. Unit, tens, 100,000. They both have the same number. So if you look at the position of the highest value, for this number here, what the digit you have there is 6. And for this other number, the digit you have in that highest position is 4. And we know that 6 is larger than 4. So since 6 is larger, that means 4 is the smallest number here. So we write down 4, the number that starts with 4. Okay, and the number is 4,133. Now, because 6,482 has fewer digits than the other, we just know that it is followed by this number. Okay, remember these two have the two we considered now, they have the lower numbers of digits. That's why we consider them to get the least, the smallest number. And since out of the two, 4,133 is the smaller number, we know that the next smaller number, or the next bigger number rather, is 6,482. So this follows. Now we have this out. Let's not confuse ourselves again. We now have these two numbers left, and both of them have 5 digits. So again, how do we determine which is smaller or which is bigger? So for the position of the highest value, which is tens of thousands, both of them have 1. They both have 1 in that position, so we can't say which is bigger. That means we need to move to the next position, which is 1,000. So in the next position, this first number here has 8 in the 1,000th position, while the second number has 0. And we know that 8 is bigger than 0. So the number that has 0 in the 1,000th position is definitely smaller than the number that has 8 in the 1,000th position. So the next number that follows is the one with the 0. So 10,238 is the next number. And lastly, you have 18,201. So these numbers have been ordered from the smallest to the biggest. And then let's see the descending order. Remember what we said descending means? So descending order you have your descending means you are arranging the numbers from the largest to the smallest. You are arranging the numbers from the largest to the smallest. That's what descending order is. So here you have the largest number here is 18,201. The next bigger number is 10,238, and that is followed by 6,482, 4,133, and lastly, that's the last number. So this one is followed by 4,133. So this is the descending order from the biggest to the smallest. Remember, we just used commas to separate them. I told you can use the symbol of greater than and less than to also show your separation. So it's your choice which you want to use. So it can look like this. 18,201 is larger than 10,238. This is larger than 6,482, and this is larger than, we are not using comma again, larger than 4,133. We see that, right? Now for the case of these first numbers here, it will go this way if you want to use the symbols. So you have 4,133 is less than 6,482, and this is less than 10,238, and this is less than 18,201. Okay, I hope we've learned something, because this way we're going to call it a day. I hope we've learned something. Please just try and go over this lesson again. Try and go over it. You don't learn just by going through something once and you feel you've known it. Go over it again. Try to give yourself some work to practice with. Just set up numbers for yourself. You know the digits, the basic digits that form all the numbers, 0 to 9. Use them to come up with numbers. Mix them up. Create numbers for yourself and try to see if you can use the rules that we looked at to arrange numbers from least to the greatest or from the greatest to the least. Okay, it's a very interesting topic. Okay, so I hope to see you next week. Okay, keep practicing. Remember, that's what makes you a master. Stay safe and stay blessed.